Corporations spend an average of 3.3% of their revenue on information technology, with banks well over 7% and manufacturers as low as 2%. Of this amount, 50 to 70% of that spend is on the maintenance and operations of information technology. IT maintenance and operations represent must-have spends by the organization. Yet beyond these must-have spends, CFOs and CIOs face critical discretionary IT decisions on modernization and other improvements. The CFO needs to understand both the value created and protected that the different IT spends provide. The CFO needs to understand the true ROI of IT spending. Any investment made in the corporation should either be deemed as a must-have, such as for maintenance or continuity of business operations, or a corporate strategic objective enabler. Otherwise, they should compete with all other discretionary investments and therefore require an accurate enterprise return on investment. Once the must-have IT spends have been identified for funding, all other discretionary IT investments should compete for resources based on enterprise value. As discussed in part 2 of this video series, we use the return on investment measure called investment productivity as the primary measure for prioritizing discretionary IT investments. To construct a draft discretionary IT budget, we will start by ordering the potential IT investments from the most productive down to the least productive. Notice how large the spread is in investment productivity from over 20 down to less than 1, which is the typical spread you'll find for IT investments, but you won't have this insight without pro enterprise management analytics. This prioritization of 6 discretionary IT investments includes the modernization of the regulatory information system, which we evaluated in Part 1 and Part 2 of this series. The second column in the table accumulates the total investment as IT projects are added to the budget, and the third column is accumulating the enterprise value created and or protected as IT projects are added to the budget. There are always budgetary and staffing constraints, and so the executives must make the trade-off on their willingness to invest in IT projects and their requisite staffing support versus the enterprise value created or protected by the investments. This analysis makes these trade-offs explicit, just what the CFO needs and should demand. As an example, a discretionary IT budget of about $8 million creates and or protects about $48 million in enterprise value as measured in today's dollars. This would imply pursuing all of the IT projects with an investment productivity of 2 or more. Once a sufficient decision frame is established for a pro item, such as an IT investment, and the associated numerical assessments are made and checked for quality and validity, it is rare for the investment productivity values to significantly vary. That is, if the investment productivity is challenged and reviewed, a pro item's investment productivity may vary up to about 20%. However, and importantly, this variation rarely changes the prioritization order. Translating this information into a graph, we see the typical diminishing return on investments shape associated with an investment productivity curve. In the end, the overall IT budget includes all of the must-have spends plus the chosen discretionary spends. This graph is used to prime the discussion on decisions regarding which additional discretionary IT investments to fund. That is, this graph represents the starting point of the debate to finalize the IT budget. Discretionary investments in information technology projects compete for resources with all other corporate discretionary spending. The competition should be based on enterprise value creation and or protection. Understanding the enterprise value created and or protected by the successful implementation of an IT project is the only means to determine the true return on investment. Pro Enterprise Management Analytics do just that, and therefore all discretionary IT spends should be evaluated with the methods provided in this video series. Contact us and apply Pro Enterprise Management Analytics to determine your best value IT modernization plan. And for more information, check out our website and pick up a copy of my latest book, Problem, Risk, and Opportunity: Enterprise Management.